Got it. I think we in there. What is going on, people? What's going on, Aqua team, folks out there? We're doing this live today, folks. This is sales training. I'm Courtney Rollins from Aqua Team Properties, the acquisition manager and CEO of Aqua Teams. And every Thursday, really every day, we take a little bit of time, either individually or sometimes we come together. But every Thursday, we come together at 4:30. And most times we do it live, and we share and practice different aspects of the sales process. The better we can be at communicating, the better we can be at helping folks out, locking up deals, solving problems, creating opportunities for income and wealth through real estate. I see. What's up, Just? What's going on, man? Hope all's well, brother. We are all the way, man. Yeah. So before I introduce the folks on the team, just to remind you, if you all want to do deals with us, please go to wholesaledeals.com. That's www.wholesaledeals.com. My man Justin caught us up here. He's an amazing young man, wholesaler out in Baltimore, and he saw a lead that we had or a deal we had, and was helped us lock it up. Heck yeah! Also want to say shout out to Big Daddy's Conglomerate. Oh my gosh, in Baltimore. He also watches us sometimes. Rachel on the lead manager was like, Courtney, before you get up here, you need to eat, because y'all know I mumble, bumble, stumble, rumble when I'm even like in my best. So when I'm not, it's even more challenging with, the ADHD and all those superpowers that sometimes can be kryptonite. But yo, this right here, Big Daddy's Conglomerate, at Big Daddy's Conglomerate. Y'all in Baltimore, y'all want us to try some food. I know Q out here, Rachel out in Aqua. Y'all want to try some food out in Augusta? We will check it out. What's the place called? Big Daddy's Conglomerate. He just delivered. He was right on time. I said, I need this by 4 o'clock because I'm having a meeting. Right on time. My God, this thing's so heavy. If I eat all this, it's a shame. Sweet potato souffle. I don't even like rice. Rice is delicious. Some Brussels sprouts with some type of cheese. I ain't never tried that, but it's delicious. So I'm set. I'm ready to go, and we're gonna make it happen. That thing's spicy and delicious, though. But yeah, we got the team here, the acquisition side of the team, man. We got. I'm gonna just shout out to them and say what's up and see if they want to say howdy and all. So we got my man Brian up here. Again, he's virtual out there in is it Augusta or Marietta, Georgia?
I'm in Marietta right now.
Marietta. What's up, Brian? How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. How about yourself?
I'm feeling blessed, man. So hope I don't pass out, fall asleep from it's delicious soul food, man.
Get them calories in.
Hey, got to get them in. Brian's on acquisition. He is a phenomenal acquisition manager who's calling, locking up deals for us and following up with us. And then we got our quarterback. What's up, Rachel? How you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah. Rachel's double tasking. She's taking care of some tasks that she needs to take care of. Getting that oil change, got to do it. Got to make it happen. And she's our lead manager, which is like a crucial role in any residential or any real estate investing business where you're marketing, direct to seller. She makes sure that no leads get left behind, that it gets in front of everybody. And then we got the youngest, coolest member of the Aqua team, Q-Sab, Quentin. What's up, Quentin? How you doing today, brother?
Good, I'm good. How about you?
Man, I'm feeling blessed, man. And Q, his role, he's actually the one who takes all these unqualified leads and does the groundwork of prospecting, calling them up, seeing if they're qualified, running them through what we usually call CPR time, condition, price, reason to selling, and their timeline. It helps helps get it up to Rachel to throw it to Brian and me so that we can continue down the road and hopefully help some folks out and hopefully make a lot of money. So today, folks, I want to start off with us having a little fun and playing a little game here. So do it like this. Share my screen. All right. We're going to play Crank Masters. All right. So we're just going to go ahead and get started. So Brian, why don't you go ahead? Brian, why don't you go ahead and start with us? We'll start with you, and then we can continue. Then we'll go like Q and then Rachel, since she's on with Rachel. We'll do it like that. So it's Brian, Q, Rachel, and I'll finish off. So let's go ahead. We go ahead, B.
Have I played this game before?
Say what?
I said, have I played this game before?
Crank Masters? I don't know. What about you, Q? You want to get started, man? How about you start?
I mean, I don't know how this game go either.
Are we
All
supposed
right.
to know how to play this game?
Rachel, you know how to play it?
No, I don't, but I think I know what game is really being
Does
played.
that say Hitler?
Yeah, there it is. One of those trickaroos, right? So we go back, right? We gotta share the rules of the game, right? That was out. Share the rules when you're talking to sellers. That's what we talk about today. There's so many parts of this sales process that we want to make sure we're controlling. It don't mean that we're talking all the time, but at least we gotta establish the rules of the game. And if this is straight from Sandler's sales training, that Steve Trank adopted so much. You see, the second stage is set the rules, even though I would argue it's in almost every stage. It's in almost every stage of the rules. Oh man, when people call in, they mess up the daggone. But it's at every part of the sales process where you're letting people know this is the next stage that we're going to doing. And yeah, so here, let me just set this thing back up over here. But anyways, yeah. So when we're setting the rules, we got to let our sellers know, or really anybody we're communicating with, what's the rules of the game. People love games are serious. Like we take it's the NBA playoffs right now, and you know how serious folks are taking that. They can be very fun also. But if we set the rules with our sellers, we're going to help them know what the boundaries are, what the conditions are, and they'll help us express clarity, and clarity is kindness, and clarity is also develops and builds trust, and trust usually allows us to be the ones that maybe the difference between us getting a deal besides someone else, because we can't convince anybody to sell to us. They either got a problem and they want to sell it because we're getting these at discounted prices, discounted. So the only difference is if really we show that we're competent, clear, and that they like us, and we can do that by showing clarity. And like I said, clarity is kindness. So we'll jump into some of the ways they sound out. And please, team, if y'all here or think of any of them, just jump in, and then we'll have a role play at the end. That's how we're going to do this. So I guess I'm sharing the rules right now too. So let me know that you're sharing the rules. And some of those phrases that you all have already used when you're doing this, and you probably can think of more, is mind if I tell you how we work? Or anytime here's the next step, and you explain what the next step is. All right, what we usually do is this, those type of phrases are very, very important to help trigger to the seller that, hey, here's the rules of the game, and this is how we're going to play it, all right? And you can continue, what's great about it is you can continue to remind the seller the rules of the game that you all agreed to play, particularly when there's conflict at the end, usually around the price, So it may sound a little bit like this, and me and even Q were role playing yesterday, and this rolled out really nicely. But all right, the rules. All right, how do we determine the price? Well, seller. Well, John, we buy properties based on the current market value, condition of the property, and your needs and your situation. Right, that's the rules. We buy properties. So we base on the current market value, condition of the property, and your needs and situations. And then furthermore, you tell them how the rules of the game is going to be played. This is the process. I'm going to ask you a few questions, and then I'm going to share with my team and see if we can get it qualified for the price that works for you. And then sometimes you even hear yourself saying how long it's going to take. It usually take about 3 to 5 minutes, 7 minutes. Is that okay? Does that sound like it's fair to you? Sound like it works for you? Cool. They're clear. They know know what's the setup, and now you have permission to ask those open-ended questions or make those labels that's going to elicit a response, so that you can get as much information as possible, so that you can identify the challenge or the issue and give a good prescription or diagnosis, which hopefully means us getting under contract. But sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's something better or different for the seller. Another phrase you usually heard out there, the next step. All right, so for some of us in this team, our next step is really just handing it off to the next person. But sometimes it also will be, us sending the purchase agreement or locking up. And I just want to use the word Cletus because I think, no offense to Cletus is out there, but I don't think Cletus is funny. I like it. Next step, I'll share with acquisitions, and Cletus will call you back, and you give a specific time or time range. Cletus will call you back this afternoon after 7 p.m. Does that sound like a word? Does that make sense? Does that work for you? So you're always confirming to see if they're understanding the rules. You can just jump into Monopoly when somebody's first playing, or spades or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You make sure the mugs know the rules, right? What's up, Eddie? What's good, man? Holding it down, man. I mean, I'm gonna tell you about this delicious food in a little bit, but we're talking about setting the rules for our sellers. Then the next, not next, but another thing that you might hear is this is particularly when you're like acquisition and you're doing belly to belly or you're going in there. I love this right here, especially if you guys have talked about agreed on price, but you're like, okay, well, all right, Mr. Seller, I'm gonna stop by the property and check it out, and we're either going to agree on price or not. And usually we've already talked about price. We'll either agree or we're not. We'll be able to give each other a yes or a no. Does that sound fair? Cool. And you might even say to him like, hey, Cletus, sometimes what I've come across is, some sellers will say maybe or something like that. I just want to make sure that, you're in a good place where you're ready to make a decision, because I definitely don't want to waste your time. And, we're going to be we talk to a lot of buyers, and we're going to buy, like the line you said from Pace More, Brian, we're buying we're looking to buy 3 or 4 properties this month or this week. And if you're not ready, no problem. Just let us know when we should. But when we go out there and they're like, no, we're ready. Okay, so cool. So if you go out there, you can say yes or no. And again, it's perfectly okay for you to say no. I just want to be a yes or no and not a maybe, so we can, know where we are. That's cool. Awesome. Great. Or maybe it's not. And then it's like, okay, well, let me ask you what's your thinking process? And that's going to reveal another objection, which gives us opportunity to either address it or reveal it. And that is so helpful so that we can, again, use and maximize and be efficient with our time and really serve them. And I see Eddie over there. I'm gonna get to that question in just a second. I'm gonna share this last couple of stages to setting the rules for your sellers. And then you might find yourself, where you're actually about to send over the purchase agreement. So much of what we do is at a computer, and I see that typo right there and it's driving me crazy. So are you a buyer should be a question mark, but it's all good. Imperfect action. So are you buying a computer? Dang, I was typing fast. Are you buying a computer? I got to fix that. That's going to drive me crazy. So are you, oops, I stopped sharing accidentally. We live, folks. Am I sharing still right now? All right, yep. Now how do I get back to that? Dang it, that's going to drive me crazy. Anyway, are you buying a computer? That's making me mad. We will send over the purchase agreement, let you take a look at it, and I'll call you back in about 15 minutes to review it with you. All right, so you let them know, hey, we're about to give you a call. We're about to send over the purchase agreement. You confirmed if they're buying a computer or not. I'm fixing that typo because it's driving me crazy. I'm pretty sure those other ones I didn't catch, but it's all gravy. And then you're like, okay, we'll call back and give you like a courtesy call, because I know we do these transactions all the time, but it's pretty simple, but we know that, you may not be selling properties all the time, so we'd love to go over the purchase agreement with you. Does that work? Sounds good? All right, I'll call you back in a little bit, and then you send over the purchase agreement and whatever. But each stage, you're setting the rules for your seller and for the game to be played. And then even letting them know the next step. Here's the rules of the next step. You might see yourself saying this, and I'm just giving examples throughout the sales conversation. This may be something that takes place over the course of the 1 or 2 calls, or it could even take place over the course of several months of you following up. Once you send back the signed purchase agreement, I'll send it over the title. I'll contact you within 24 business hours and get that ball rolling on closing. I'll continue to follow up, once or twice a week until we get to selling. Does that work? And for example, for another example of setting the rules of like, if somebody's taking a long time, it's like, okay, so what's the next step you need in the process to help you make a decision? Well, I need to get over there and get my stuff out of there. Okay, what do you think you need to do that for that? Well, I'm going to go next week, and then once I start packing up, see what it is, I'll be able to talk to you more. All right, okay, cool. So what I'll do is I'll call you back on Monday in 2 weeks, and we'll chat about where you are with that. Or it might even be an opportunity really for you to help. Do you need help moving, or we have that services and stuff like that? But you definitely, it's like, okay, I will call you back at this time, and then we'll talk about the next steps and see if I can get over there or this or that, whatever you're setting up. And again, you're just establishing the rules, getting that commitment, and keeping the ball moving forward. All right, team. So I would love to hear some of y'all thoughts. And while y'all are thinking about that, I'm going to, Eddie, y'all got to check out Eddie Empire Tags and Titles. He says, hey, C, quick question. What site can I use to have someone sign a contract for? Yeah, I like Hello Sign. there are a lot of signs out the apps out there, DocuSign and Right Signature, all that stuff. HelloSign is free 99. So you can load it up, it'll turn into a PDF, and then you can use the tools on the side to format and any signature check boxes. Yeah, you guys have any apps or anything that you've used before that you found useful? Get another thumbs up from HelloSign. Urban Fits Us USA. What's the deal? What's the deal? All right. Good gracious, man. Stop calling me. He messing up my. Oh my gosh. Now I hope that worked. All right. No, it doesn't work. It's all good though. So, what do you all think about these setting the rules or stuff? I would love to hear some feedback from anybody in here. I'm gonna take a little bite of this Big Daddy's soul food. What you thinking, Q?
I think me and you talked about it. Like we've been talking about it for a little while actually, about setting the rules, and it's just like you said, it's really important to get those rules set. And I feel like I can remember a couple conversations where I felt like I was losing control, and I had to use those like questions to really like try to get it back to like a point where I'm asking questions and a point where I'm getting bombarded by questions. And I don't know, sometimes it's really difficult, especially when you got somebody that likes to well, if you got like a driver and they like talk a lot and they ask a lot of questions, it's kind of hard sometimes, but you always got to find a way to work around that, or you not really going to get anywhere with anybody.
Right. It reminds me of like stuff we've been talking about with purpose, definitive of purpose. It sets a clear purpose and path. It really helps get to the goal that you're trying to get to. What about you guys, Rachel and Brian?
I think it's a nice non-bossy way to show confidence. It shows that you know the sales process, and shows that you know what then you need to do next, but it's not like in a pushy kind of a way.
Showing control without being pushy and all. Yeah. And confident. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that trying to figure out a way to display that confidence that you understand exactly what the process looks like. Like it would be weird if you walked into a doctor's office and you didn't check in, and then they didn't do your height, and they didn't ask your name. Like there are certain things like it would be really weird and awkward to ask somebody their name, birthday, height, weight in certain contexts, but it's super, super normal in this context. And in getting outside of the preconceptions that you may have as to what is appropriate or not. No, if you are the person that is going to facilitate this transaction, and then you need to understand, and like we said, set those rules of how things are going to go. And there's a way to convey that without being pushy or condescending or any of those other things.
Yeah, I hear you say that. Reminds me, like, it grants the permission too. Like, it'd be odd if somebody just walked up to you and started like, taking your blood pressure or checking your height. But if you have the right contacts, you're like, hey, well, you're at the office. I'm about to, do this right here. Run these different tests so we can figure out what's going on.
And I think a lot of times it comes up with the money, like mainly because money is a taboo thing, right? Like if we were talking about like money and worth, so whether it's making the offer or how much do you have owed on the property or how much is the rent, like these are questions that you may not ask even your friend at dinner. But if you're calling a complete stranger and you're trying to make a business transaction, it's a completely normal question to ask.
Right. And I think a great gem that actually also shows some humanity, that now that you brought that up, about asking questions, especially around money, is you can actually show some humanity and say, and break the ice. This is straight from Chris Voss and stuff, and be like, all right, this is the tough part. I hate this part, seller. I always get uncomfortable when it comes to the price and everything like that. I always get uncomfortable when it comes to talking about price, but of course, that's a necessary part of the process. So, love know, what do you think the property's worth, or what do you want? Like that type of humility that's clear actually shows confidence. Sort of like Rachel's call maybe last week, and when she was like, okay, what next do I want to ask? You know what I'm saying? Like she was revealing, like she pulled the veil back, but still was showing confidence. You're confident enough to be like, okay, let me think about where I am and show myself as human. And it like engenders some type of, I guess empathy, not sympathy, but hopefully empathy that makes you feel more connected with that person because they're being authentic. Oh, the go-giver, the fourth rule, Q, authenticity, being yourself. So like, really just being yourself can help. And sometimes if you are uncomfortable with sometimes asking questions or any part, why not say that in a very, normal way, and that allows you, oh, okay, now I can ask these uncomfortable questions that, I normally wouldn't ask. I'm gonna put one more extra gem that it kind of fits because we were talking about it yesterday on the phone. And then I would love for us to for folks to role play. And I was going to do the topic today, but I decided to shift gears to this. But that's when we're calling at some point in the conversation, I would love for us to try out letting the seller know that, hey, regardless if you work with us or not, we're trying to get better on the phones. We're trying to get better working with folks. So I would love to get any feedback to share with the team to see how we're going. So after we finish talking, regardless if you decide to work with us, I would love to get feedback of how your experience is and how I'm doing. I really like that a lot. I think we talked about it a while back when maybe it's me and Rachel and maybe some other folks at the time, but I know Q and I talked about it yesterday, but maybe we need to jot that down in some phrases and role play that as an upcoming, one-on-ones and conversations. But again, setting the rules, say, hey, regardless if we work together, we're always trying to get better. So I'll just let you know, Mr. Seller, at the end of the conversation, I would love to get some feedback on, how the conversation went. If we were clear or anything like that, I can, take back to my team. I'll tell you where this came from, and just especially if you folks are out there hiring VAs that are overseas and maybe have a thick dialect that doesn't sound Americanized or Western and all. That was a great tool that someone said when they asked you, are you from Baltimore? Are you from the States? Are you from whatever? It's like, well, actually, no, I actually work for Courtney and the guys, and they hire us over here so that they can save on costs and try to give you the best offer. In fact, we're always looking for feedback, and then they go through that line and stuff. And we've never exactly incorporated, but I would love for us to think about those type of phrases, and particularly asking for feedback that almost gets that person on your side. They want to see you win. You know what I mean? I like that. All right. So let's role play. Do we have 2 volunteers, 1 seller, 1 buyer?
My dog is going crazy, so as long as you guys don't hear him in the background, I can be either.
I don't hear him.
I don't got those good headphones like Rachel does.
Say that again, Brian.
I said I don't got those good speakers to pick up all the background noise like you do. You got that studio quality. You got the Beats by Dre, and I got these $9.99 ones I got at the gas station.
Mine are $13.99 off of Amazon.
Balling. That was the other thing I was actually going to say, actually, is I think humor helps a lot too. Like, I think it's just a great icebreaker, going back to being authentic. Like, if there's hard things to say or hard things to talk about, like making humor is a uniter. It brings people together.
I hear that. I can do that. Well, we got Brian up. I definitely agree with that. Come on, somebody step up.
Go ahead, Quentin. I don't think you made it to last week's meeting.
All right.
I'll do it.
Q, are you the seller or the buyer?
I'll be either one.
Right,
Which one you want to be, Brian?
No, I'm down for whatever. Why don't you go ahead and tell us what to do, Captain?
Yeah, you be the seller, Brian, and you're the buyer, Q.
Did you make the dice yet?
I know me and Rachel supposed to have that done. Roll the dice. So Brian, go ahead and think about your avatar. What's the
You hear him throw you
motivation?
under the bus, Rachel?
I sure did.
Hey, I'm
Sure
just
did.
trying to help make sure that she know that I wasn't gonna run with the idea and try to copyright it. All right, you can jump in with the ring ring.
Got it.
Ring ring.
Hello?
Hello, Brian. I'm Quentin with Aqua Team Properties. I'm calling about the property on 123 Main Street. See if you had any interest in selling it. Did I catch you at a bad time?
Yeah. I don't know. What's your offer?
Well, we base our offers on the condition of the property, the market at the time, and of course, the customer and, your situation and all that. So if I could ask you a couple questions for a couple minutes to see, get any information about the property so I could get a number that work with you.
Yeah, that's fine. What do you need to know?
Well, let's first go to condition. Have you done any renovations to the property at all recently?
We renovated it before we started renting it out about 7 or 8 years ago.
Okay, so 7 to 8 years. And what exactly did you get renovated? Like the kitchen or bathroom? Or...
Yeah, it's an older house, so we did the kitchen, did the bathroom.
Okay. Anything to like the roof anytime soon, like last 10 years or so?
No, it's probably about 20 years old.
20 years old. Okay. And how long did you say you had this house again?
We had it for about 25 now before we started renting
25
it out.
years. Wow.
Yeah.
So long time. Is this like a house, like your first house, or it's been a long time since you owned this house? Any like value to it, towards like emotional value?
Well, it was our first house, but like I said, we're renting it out now, so nothing. It's not a family home or anything.
Okay. You said you're renting it out. So how much are you renting out for? How many tenants do you have inside of it?
It's just a single family, so it's $1,500 a month, and they pay all the utilities and everything.
Okay. So you get a pretty good chunk of change from it. Okay. So you said you didn't really know if you wanted to sell a house. Have you thought about what you want to do with the house?
No, just been renting it out. You called me, so I thought maybe you had something for me.
I mean, we're definitely interested. I mean, I gotta take this again to my team and see what they say about it. But yeah, I think you've given me plenty of information at this point. How about I give this information to my numbers guy Courtney, and I can have him call you tomorrow evening. Is that good with you? Say around 7?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Well, I'll have him call you tomorrow, okay? Have a good day.
Thanks, you too.
All right. How'd you feel?
I still feel I didn't feel like I had like the energy throughout it all.
Mm.
Feel like I could have brung that up a little bit more, but other than that, it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Anybody want to throw some points or feedback? I got a few.
Yeah, I was trying to give you the renter thing, the digging that a little bit more, to let you know that there was a rental nigga. And I would really my idea is that usually just stay in there, try to figure out what that's been like, or if they've had any issues with that, get more into that experience. I don't know. I think it's hard to not think about what you're going to say next, to actively listen, but also have a plan for where you're taking the conversation at the same time. So I don't know how to quite thread that needle, but I guess that might be the feedback.
Yeah, I think it's it's a strange art to be able to listen without any expectations, but also know that we have a path or a process that we're trying to walk them down. I really love the uptick in your voice on the questions. I'm going to ask you a few questions, you know. I like that inflection. You were setting the stage really well, particularly at the end and all. I was making notes that it seemed for a second that you were rapid fire asking him questions, even though some of them were open-ended, which was cool. But then all of a sudden you did slow down and give a little more conversationalist pauses and non-verbals and verbal cues in there, which is more helpful than, they don't feel like they're in interrogation, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, let's see, well, you know, so you can add some you know, non-verbals or some phrases that allow it to be a little more melodic or not, you know, so like rapid fire. Does that make sense? And then like 25 years from now, wow, you know, that's like stuff like that you're saying is like, oh, cool. I do like the question about the emotional value, but you asked, like, I do this all the time too, like maybe it was 2 or 3 questions at a time. So, so that was like labeling. Oh, it must have emotional value for you, you know? So that was a good label, but just try to, as best you can, ask one question at a time. You said, is that like your first house, or, you know, so it must have some emotional value for you, you know? So try to ask one question at a time so it doesn't get too confusing. But
because remember, labeling doesn't have to be right. Like, you want to put a label on something so they can either confirm or deny. So it sounds like it has a lot of emotional value. No, actually, we're renting it out. It's not important to us. Or, yeah, actually it is. That was my grandmother's home. We're going to keep it in the family. So the label doesn't have to be right. It just gives them a position to take.
Absolutely. Which digs into more, it elicits more questions. I mean, more information for us to be able to understand what they need. And I think all of us can remember to always, it may not be a good price, but always, you know, it's a kind of a label too. Well, it sounds like a good property. It sounds like you know, the throwaway sounds like a good property. Well, why don't you list it? Or, oh, it sounds like the rent's going well for you. Why don't you just you know, would you just hold on to it? You know, you would be interested in selling. Why would you be interested in selling if you have a good renter? Or why don't you list it if it's, you know, whatever? You know what I'm saying? Like, sounds like a good property, and then be confused. Because what we're trying to get is help them understand if there's like motivation there for them.
It doesn't even sound like we should be talking.
Exactly. Yeah, I've said that so many times. It sounds like, hey, you probably don't even talking to me. Sound like you're good to go. Well, you know, well, you know, then they start revealing a little bit more. Or they might be right. Well, yeah, we're pretty good. Okay, well, then I've take the notes, follow up them a couple of weeks or a couple of days or a couple of months and stuff, you know. Yeah, good stuff though, man. Good stuff. Yep. Yeah. I think it's past 5 o'clock. Rachel or B, you guys want to go? Rachel, you want to go? Are you in a place?
I think it's still far too noisy here for me to be effective.
Okay. All right. I'll be a seller. And Brian, you want to be a buyer?
If you want to let Quentin be the buyer, I'm actually
okay.
Sounds good. On it off camera.
There it is. All right, Brian. Not Brian, but it's me and you, Q. I'm the seller. No, you just did that. So I'm the buyer. Wait a second. Yeah, I'm the buyer. Yeah. So you can think about, it's good. Put yourself in the shoes of the seller. All right.
Yeah, Quentin, give him a hard time and give him the same objections that you get. Like, that's what I use role playing for. I give people the objections that I get so I can think through and get their angle on it.
Right. So ring.
Hello.
Hey, it's Quentin. This is Courtney with the Aqua team. I was sorry to call you a little out of blue like this, but I was calling you about the property on 123 Main Street. We're still buying properties in the area, just seeing if you're interested in selling the property there.
You said 123 Main Street?
Yeah, 123 Main Street. Just seeing if you're interested in selling that property over there. But it sounds like I caught you at a bad time here.
No, you ain't caught me at a bad time, man. You can't really afford that property right there. I'm sorry.
I got you. Okay, well, you say you can't really afford that property. What do you mean by that?
I think that's a little bit out of your budget. That's a home right there. That's not a house. That's a home right there.
Ah,
tell you.
got you. Okay, so you're not really interested in selling. Okay, I got you. So you're not interested in selling at this time?
I mean, I'm interested in selling, but I don't think the price is gonna be where you want it. You know, it's not
Got you.
anything that needs to be fixed up. This is like
Okay.
market ready. So,
Oh, so you're gonna like list this and for market value, you listing it like with a realtor or listing it?
but I haven't decided exactly what I'm gonna do with it yet. You know, I own a couple properties around the area.
Oh, cool.
So, it's just we're gonna see what happens. I mean, market's going up just like you said. You know, a lot of people want to buy houses over here.
Right.
So right now I'm just holding my properties, and if any really good offers come, I sell my properties. But other than that, just watch the market, see when it's time to sell.
Okay, well, I can do that. I can do that. Well, you mind if I ask you a few questions just to see? I mean, it does sound like we might not be the buyers, but if you got a couple minutes, I can ask you a couple of questions just to see real quick, and then yeah, we can see if it's worth in talking anymore. Maybe I can even point you in the right direction since you're thinking about how you can get the most money out of it. Does that work?
Sure, go ahead.
All right,
I'm
cool. So
listening.
you said it's a home. Are you currently living in there?
No, just got it renovated a
Uh,
couple months ago.
Oh, nice, nice, man. Cool. How'd that go?
It was pretty good, done a couple homes, so wasn't really a crazy process. But
Gotcha.
yeah, I mean, it's one of those homes that I was really like when it was finished, I looked at it and it's just really good. I don't know how to
Man.
describe it. Um,
Oh man, that's awesome. Is that so? This, I guess, is what you do. Are you like fixing up homes and like, are you like flipping them and stuff like that?
I mean, that's kind of like a little side thing I do, but
Gotcha.
something I like, something I got into recent years. So
Okay, it seems like the time is now to do all that stuff. That's pretty cool, man. Yeah. So, I guess is it so? No one's living there now, or do you have a tenant in there right now?
nobody's living in there.
Gotcha. Okay. And what do you think it's worth right now?
I mean, like I said, it's worth a lot. But well, do you know anything about the property? You mean you know I own it? Where it's at? Do you know anything else? Like how big it is and stuff like that.
Well, I can pull it up here on public records here real quick, and I see some, Baltimore, some of the information is not complete and all. But I haven't been over there in a long time. We usually just pull in areas that we're looking for. So I'm pulling up public records. It doesn't really show the square footage and all that stuff. How big is it?
It's about 500 square feet.
Oh, that's big. Oh, man. I hear you. Okay, I'll do
Yeah,
that,
it's
man.
gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
What's up, man? So yeah. So how much you hoping to get for it then?
I'm not dumb. I'm not gonna give you a price first. If you want to, you can go check it out. I mean, I feel like you got some information if you wanna.
Okay, so when you list it, all right. So when you list it, you have no idea what you're gonna, or you just don't
Oh,
want to
I
share
know what
what
I'm
you
gonna
got.
list it for. I'm just not giving you my price first. I know
Okay,
how this. I know how this game goes. I'm not new to this.
I hear you, but so when you list it, would you go cover up the price or something, or that's just gonna be what?
No, when I list it, I list it. But
Gotcha.
again,
Well,
that's if I list it. I haven't decided what I'm doing yet.
well, man, if you do decide to list it, or if you need like somebody to evaluate it, help you get the most out of it, we do offer those services and have people on our team for that. Is that somebody that might be able to help you, like see how much the most you can get out of it, like an
Wouldn't
evaluation?
hurt to have another contact, I guess.
All right. Well, when we get off, I'm gonna send your information over to my man Jason, and he'll call you either tonight or first thing in the morning. And you all can go from there. He's going really cool guy, really good guy, and can help you strategize how to get the most out of it. But while I have you on the phone, those other properties, do you have any other ones that you haven't started the renovation on, or maybe just you may want to get off your hand and get some quick, convenient cash?
Uh, not at the moment. Not in that area at least.
Not
Got
that area.
some down in Virginia, but I don't know if you really want that.
Yeah, well, we're all over the space. It really depends on the property. What's it talking about over there, Virginia?
Got got a couple properties down in Richmond, couple down by Norfolk, but
Gotcha. Now,
I
is there
mean,
any other?
it depends on what you looking for, like properties that need to be flipped and stuff like that, and put a little work into it, stuff like that.
Well, mainly what we do, I'll tell you how we work. Mainly, we like to just source the property. We source the deal. We find the property. We find the deal, or the property, I should say. And sometimes we'll fix it up and keep it ourselves. Sometimes we'll fix it up and resell it. But many of the times we'll share it with our other network of investors we've been working with over the last years, and we'll assign it to them. So if we're not able to take it on, then we share with some of our investors. And we've been fortunate enough to have like a pretty large network, even across the nation, mostly in the southeast, but even sometimes across different parts of the world. So we really let the lead or the property dictate what's being done, what we're going to do. Now, any of those in Richmond, are you ready to sell now for any of those in Richmond, or is this like something that you? I know I just called you out of the blue.
I mean, I have this one house. I mean, it's a little small. It's like 10,000 square feet, something like that. And I don't know. I've been thinking about putting it up for a little while. I haven't really done too much to it, but it's just I haven't really got around to it. So.
Gotcha. All right. Well, how about I'm going to ask you questions about the condition of that property. I'll get that information and all that stuff, and I can check and see if it's something that if it fits our criteria, we'll we'll make it work. But do you mind how about I give you I'm going to connect you with Jason now, and then I don't know if you're too busy later on, but can I call you back in about maybe 30 minutes and get more information on that Richmond property?
I'll call me back in like a couple hours. That'd be good.
All right, a couple hours. All right, I'll give you a call. Was it 4, 5? I'll call you back at all right, 7:15. I'll call you back around 7:15. All right.
That works.
All right, thanks, man. All right, take care. Oh man, he's trying to give you a hard time, man. That was hilarious. He said 500 square feet. He said 10,000 square feet. I was rolling. Nice. Oh, what feedback you got? What feedback you got there? And thank you.
I feel like you got it back into your control pretty well, just like how we was talking about. I feel like a couple times you did like kind of ramble about like certain topics, like when I would ask you a question or like throw you off a little bit, it'd be like a little bit of a delay before you finally got like the next question out, but that's natural anyway. So for the most part though, it's pretty good job. I was really trying to like throw you off half the time anyway. You did a pretty good job just deflecting it. So
thank you. Our other team might be caught up or held up. If y'all have
I was thinking about whether like the throwaway, it was kind of like a half throwaway. And I was wondering maybe like digging in one way or the other, like, we're not the buyer for you. Sound like you want to get retail and then going into that, or I don't know. That was like the one thing that kind of stuck out is that it's like you threw it away, but you didn't crumble it up all the way. Like you crumbled it up, you didn't rip it up in case you needed to off the trash can.
Thanks. Yep. Did I see Rachel? Oh, there she is.
I didn't really have any real feedback. Quentin, you did a great job being the seller, and I think we've all heard it before. Your opening line was really great, but you can't afford that.
Yeah, I've heard that the other day. Yeah. And so I was really trying to shift modes to like, okay, maybe we can support some realtor out there. I didn't want to say realtor because sometimes it's real taboo, but like somebody who can evaluate your property and help you get the most out of it. And my man, and we do those referrals to folks. There are ways we can monetize those too, or at least put good energy out in the world. But yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate the feedback. Appreciate us thinking about setting the rules, setting the stage so we can help them and help us both, all us win the game, you know? And any other thoughts or questions or comments?
I mean, the last type of thing is like, again, like, if we think about any other like professional setting, it would be really weird if the person didn't tell you what to do next. Like if they didn't say sign in and sit down, or they didn't say, put on the gown and wait for the doctor to come in, or pull up until I tell you to stop and we're going to change it, or like you have to tell them what to do next. And like when you don't, like Pace has the great story. Like it's weird. It's like you're out on a date with the girl. You're having a great conversation. She's digging you, and then she's like, "Well, I'm gonna go inside because you're not gonna kiss me." It's like, at a certain point, you need to explain to them, I'm gonna make you an offer. This is how it's gonna work. This is what's gonna happen. Because if not, they're gonna be lost. They probably haven't sold their house before. We buy houses every day.
Great point. Great points. Appreciate you guys. I know we went a little longer today. I'm about to wrap this up and send it right to YouTube. If you're out there in YouTube world, we'd love to get a subscribe. If you're watching this and you have any comments, we would love any feedback as well. Shout out to Big Daddy's Conglomerate in Baltimore. I'm about to pass out. If you are watching this live, or even if you're not, check out the YouTube page because you will also see posted later on the Capacity to Be REI meetup. And tonight we're having Sheena Mullins, the wholesale queen out of Greenville, North Carolina, or South Carolina, actually. She is holding it down. Check out her page at Learning with the Wholesale Queen. She teaches, she mentors, she gives workshops, she gives a lot of great content and information away. And yeah, check us out at Aqua Team Properties, Aqua_Properties Instagram. And if you want to do deals with us, holler at us. Yeah, we love sharing. Love you guys being able to, help each other grow. And other than that, I'm about to dig into this. Pause about 15 minutes, and I'm gonna jump right back on YouTube and finish up these calls before 7 o'clock. All right, team. Rising ties to you. Peace.